Yes, boys, just a quick review on last week's setup. Managed to take a nice trade on Friday, 20 to 30% of the weekly retracement after we took out the previous week's high. So yeah, I'll take you onto the charts now. Right then, so straight on to the weekly. So for me, my drawn liquidity was the previous week's high, which you can see there, which we did take. As soon as this was taken for me, because we had a very large range week and we took our key weekly liquidity there, I was expecting a 20 to 30% retracement of the entire weekly range. So this can happen every Friday. So what I'd do is I mark the low to the high, and then you're left with this area here, 20 to 30%. So that is the target area. So it's like a slight pullback. It's like you can see here, you know, not all of the, well, any in fact of the candles hardly close out the top range, right? The high or the low, they always leave a wick of some sort because buyers are exiting their positions and taking profits for the week. So that is why it tends to happen on a Friday once key areas have been hit on the market. So that's the first thing I do. Obviously we're bullish, we established that before, but yeah, we're taking out this liquidity side here, and for me the key areas to look for that we had were these imbalances there on the hourly. So we had multiple hourly imbalances here, and then we had this end dog there which was formed on the same day. So for me that was a very big target for price. Going into the 15-minute, now that the 1 hour order flow has been established and the 1 hour targets, you can see straight from the off go we just had distribution of price during the Asian session, which obviously leaves a lack of manipulation and all of these imbalances which needs to be filled to balance price. Sell side hasn't been delivered yet. So as soon as we took out this weekly level here, that's where you expect the move to follow. Straight away, 8:30 news, this was the news driver for the day. What can you expect during this news period is you either get distribution or manipulation, and like I said, didn't have that manipulation at all until here. Pushed up, took out the liquidity, and that is where you get the market maker sell model. So straight into the 1 minute then. So like I said, we had that high impact news here. So we're now waiting until 9:30 to see what happens when the market opens up. Do we have a further manipulation or do we start to distribute now that we've had it here? It was a very choppy start. So you can see the first 15 minutes or so were extremely choppy. So we do nothing. As soon as it's chopping about like this, it's not offering any fair value gaps of any sort to enter off or any clear distribution or displacement in the market, and that's when you do nothing. So we're waiting for a key liquidity point to be taken. During the first 15 minutes, if no manipulation happens, you can expect it during the next 15 minutes up until 10 o'clock, and this is where we had it here from this leg there. As you can see, 9:45 manipulated up, and we had that SMT divergence with VS where we took that liquidity. As you can see, ES took that high and Nasdaq failed to take it. So this is now when you get ready to take in an entry. So obviously we've determined the key draws of liquidity, which are down here within this region where you expect price to close at the end of the day. And now you wait for the entry. So the first thing, as soon as we took this high on S&P and formed this SMT divergence, check the time, 9:50, manipulation here. This is when you look to get in the trade. As soon as we've had this displacement there, a huge displacement straight away. So I actually entered. So as soon as we violated these candles, I looked for my entry. Ended up going on the 15-second chart, which is what I'm showing you here, and I ended up entering on this little order block there. So that's where I entered. Should I have waited for the fair value gap? Potentially. Put my stop loss above it because there was obviously that chance where price could come back into it, but I wanted to make sure I was to get a fill, so I did have quite a lenient stop loss on that because I didn't want to get stopped out. And you can see price went into it here, came back down, and then eventually had that distribution. So if we go on the 1 minute, you can see this order block there, that price formed, and we obviously got that change in the state of delivery here. And then for me, this there was the best entry right there because you've already got confirmation of order flow here, and this is the following up entry. So you've got an order block paired with a fair value gap, which is very strong, and you can put your stop loss above here as well. So I was a little bit too early, and bearing in mind this was also at 10 o'clock, so this is where the new hourly candle opened. If we go on the hourly chart, you can see how price distributed. Took out liquidity previously, closed back within this candle range, which allows the next candle to distribute, taking out the bottom of the range. The drawn liquidities, so we had the end dog, hourly fair value gaps, also this wick here, which is from the data releasement. This is extremely strong because there's a lot of volatility, which caused this displacement. So that's a key point where stops are, which is underneath there, and then obviously the internal draws of liquidity down there. You can also see down here a further entry was provided. So you had a 5-minute inversion there, which had previously supported price. This is another important imbalance because it was caused through the news, right? So that is a key reference point. So as soon as we broke underneath that and closed, you expect that to be used. As extra displacement and for more sell orders to be paired. And you can kind of see where the candle fell between there, so 50% consequent encroachment, and that's exactly what happened. As soon as we came back up into the midpoint here of the inversion, price distributed even further, easily taking out that liquidity there. So that was the trade. Like I said, important things to monitor on a Friday: key liquidity areas, previous weekly high, internal draws and liquidity, so haven't manipulated yet, distributed during the Asian going into London, and then obviously the manipulation here which happened during the news, and then other draws and liquidity. So they're the key things to look at when you're looking to trade this setup on a Friday.